The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.
Well, it's another big night at Walthamstow. It's the Ladbrokes.com ARC final. We've got the action from the final, plus a strong supporting card, including the likes of the Springbok champion, Hot Dog Jack, Hurdler of the Year, Kildare Lark, and, of course, Greyhound of the Year, Spirit and Louis. It's all coming up later in the programme.
On this week's programme, we bring you a roundup of the latest finals from around the country and some open race clues. We visit the busy and bustling kennels of Jason Foster, home of last year's top hurdler Kildare Lark. Plus, we have the highlights from MONMORE of the Ladbroke Spring Festival.
Let's first review the Ladbrokes.com ARC meeting. Another bumper crowd for another cracking meeting at the Stowe, and some brilliant racing and close finishes. Top of the pile being Droopys Nelson, holding off Big Brett Cole and Penny's Victor.
And as they come round the final bend, Droopys Nelson flat to the board. Big Brett Cole switches to the inside. Droopys Nelson and Big Brett Cole with flying Penny's Victor.
Then Greyhound of the Year, Spirit and Louis, had to conjure up reserves of stamina to win the marathon.
Spirit on Louis has opened up a 3.5 length lead then from Slaney Side Demon in second. A break back to the others. They come round the final bend, and Spirit on Louis has to worry about Slaney Side Demon, who moves a bit wide. It's still Spirit on Louis, Slaney Side Demon closing. Oh, it's close. It looks as though Spirit on Louis may have just held on by a whisker.
Hot Dog Jack versus Kildare Lark will be reviewed later in the programme. But up in the plush paddock grill, winners were being toasted and form studded as the big final approached. Mildeen Flash had showed sizzling early pace, but faced tough opposition from Oaks champion Blondini, drawn next door. The pair dominated the market, but the money also came from the well-drawn Centaur Decree in 6. He'd been touched off by Mildeen Flash in the semi-finals, but this early pace greyhound looked to have a great make-up.
And away they go, and racing up towards the first bend, and is bumping out of the boxes. Centaur Decree's going to lead up on the outside here from 4 Arthur's Joy. Moving up on the inside is Mildeen Flash. No luck for Blondini as they head down the far side. It's Centaur Decree with a 3.5 length lead here. Racing up in the second comes Swimmers Dylan, then comes one, Mildeen Flash. After these comes Blondini. They come round the final bend, and Centaur Decree has gone about 6 lengths clear. Centaur Decree has won in emphatic style.
Out of the traps, and the writing was on the wall for 1 and 2, who came together as Centaur Decree paced up to the corner and was on his way to the £13,000 first prize. Next stop for Centaur Decree is the Trainers' Championship meeting at Wimbledon on March the 18th, where he represents his trainer Mark Wallace and owners, successful owners, the Centaur Group.
Doncaster makes its debut here on the Dogs as we look back at a couple of intriguing opens over 483 metres. Starting with the expected battle between Droopys Obafemi for Ted Soppit and Pond Galileo for Harry Williams. Away they go, and racing up towards the first bend, breaking fast was Hondo Top Blue, but the best pace from Droopys Obafemi. Around the bend they go, Pond Galileo badly crowded around the first 2 bends, a lot to do as they head down the far side. Droopys Obafemi by 2.5 lengths from Hondo Top Blue. Good pace down the far side from Pond Galileo, now moving up into second as they come around the second last bend, and it's Droopys Obafemi. Pond Galileo closing with every stride. Droopys Obafemi still leading by about half a length. Droopys Obafemi goes on to beat Pond Galileo back in third, Hondo Top Blue. In the other division of the 483 metre standard at Doncaster, the 2 North East trainers, Ted Soppit and Harry Williams, again provided the 2 big guns. Soppit was represented by Droopys Totti, whilst Williams had Pond Astronaut. There they go, and racing up towards the first bend. A level starter though, 3 step aside budgies away fast. On the inside, 1 Roxanne Babe comes round. Oh, trouble at the bend there. Pond Astronaut and step aside budgie, both badly hampered. Here comes Droopys Totti. Droopys Totti comes to take over at halfway from Roxanne Babe. After he's back in third comes Rushing Bud. They go round the second arse bend, and it's Droopys Totti who looks so impressive in front of Sky's cameras at Wimbledon. Swings a bit wide, but he's going to power up the home straight. Droopys Totti wins. Back in second place, Roxanne Babe. At Poole for the final for the Golden Crest, the John Mullins trained Black Taxi, last year's Golden Sprint winner at Romford, went to traps as the favourite at 7-4. The main danger looked to be KG Jeff, formerly with Mullins, but now with Stephen Willey. Great start, Black Taxi and KG Jeff come away well here ahead of 2 Yahoo Commander. Trouble at the bend there for trap 4, Love Mac as they head down the far side. 6 Keely Rave was badly crowded, but Black Taxi goes on, really drove the bend at the first turn and leads here by 2.5 lengths. KG Jeff in second, after this comes Yahoo Commander, but as they come around the final bend, there's no catching Black Taxi in scintillating form. Black Taxi goes on to score, KG Jeff second, Yahoo Commander third. Over to Sheffield for the final of the Global Windows Queen Mother Memorial Cup. Headed on Paddy, now back with Steve Race. We're sent off the 5-4 favourite ahead of Malden Flight, the other semi-final winner. Here comes the hare. There they go, and racing up towards the first bend. And Malden Flight appears on the scene in front here from 2. Toozy Boy in second. A slow break from Headed on Paddy, heading in towards the rails. Opening Artist in 6, a little bit wide as they go past the judges' box, and it's 3 in front. Malden Flight leading here from 2. Toozy Boy. Opening Artist improves into third, just ahead of Swift Leopard back in fourth. Then comes Headed on Paddy, and the pace just too hot for Sabby's Blue as they go down towards the penultimate turn. And Malden Flight unrelenting in front, still leading here by 2.5 lengths from Toozy Boy. A couple back to 5, improving Headed on Paddy. They come round the final bend, and it's Malden Flight trapped to wire. Malden Flight wins by 2.5 lengths. Headed on Paddy stayed on strongly for second. Well, on to MONMORE now for all 3 heats. The Ladbroke Spring Festival over 630 metres. Local Hope, Glittering Aries, trained by Peter Billingham, was 7-4 joint favourite for the first, along with the youngster Aero Blackjack, trained by Mark Wallace. Away they go, and racing out towards the first bend, 5. Droopys John away fast. Glittering Aries, though, is holding his own at the first bend, and he now goes on. 2 Daytona Dandy seem to move off slightly at the first bend, but is in second at the moment, ahead of 4 Baron Mustang. After he's out wide is Aero Blackjack in 6. A break back to Droopys John, who got really murdered at the first bend as they head down the far side, and it's Glittering Aries opened up on all cylinders here. Suddenly 7 lengths clear from Daytona Dandy in second. After these comes 6 Aero Blackjack. They come round the second arse bend, and it's plain sailing for Glittering Aries. Reached the Prestige final at Hall Green earlier in the year. Could he go on and win the Ladbroke Spring Festival 6:30? We'll find out on Friday. Close for second. In the second heat, Julie Bateson's Monsoon Jack was just the market leader, ahead of the Michael Harris trained Swift Messenger and Tony Collette's Lenson Earl. Here comes the hare. Short dash to the bend here, and away they go. And a great start from Genesis Dream in 3. Comes across and finds there's nothing in its way at the first bend. Leads here from 6 Lenson Earl. After this comes 2 Swift Messenger. A break back to 4 Swift Pawnee. Toiling up the back at the moment, Shelbourne Capri, and also 5 Monsoon Jack. As they go round the third and fourth turns, setting a scalding pace is Genesis Dream. Leading here with Swift Messenger. Trying to make a bit of headway, but meant out quite wide there. Then comes 6 Lenson Earl. They come back in towards the second last bend, and again looking for room, Swift Messenger, but not getting it. It's 3 Genesis Dream, a real hard nut to crack here. Genesis Dream out in front. Here comes Swift Messenger. Just Genesis Dream from Swift Messenger. In Heat 3, the Dean Childs trained early bird Droopys Nelson was the 6-4 favourite, ahead of Swift Ninja for Michael Harris, and Golden Jacket winners Shelbourne Merck and 2 Nicks, both at 5-1. There they go, and Shelbourne Merck was slow away, best away Swift Ninja, comes across towards the rails. 2 Nicks is handy, getting a bit of a run on the inside. After this comes 4 Droopys Nelson, who's been denied an early lead. A lap to go, and it's 2 Nicks on the inside that takes over as they approach the third bend, and runs a good fourth bend, opens up to go 2.5 lengths clear from 5 Swift Ninja. 6 Shelbourne Merck up into third, then a gap back to Droopys Nelson, who's a spent force like hotcakes in behind, but they come round the second last bend, and Tunix, who's been off the track for so long, is back with a bang. It's Tunix that's going to win here. An errant course from Swift Ninja, staying on late. Shelbourne Merck was third. It could be a messy final with only a few paces before the greyhounds turn into the first bend. Genesis Dream will head inside, Glittering Aries will try and hold its pitch on the inside. Swift Ninja darts out of the box, the only middle-seeded runner might get a good run. In part 2 of the Dogs, we bring you more of the cracking action from the MONMORE Spring Festival.
Coming up after the break, we're off to the Surrey kennels of Jason Foster.
Here comes the hare, and there they go. And Kildare Lark breaks fast here. Going with it is Ali's Amigo. In between them is Hot Dog Jack, who's absolutely pacing up, big style. And Hot Dog Jack nips round in front on the flat here as they head down the far side. Kildare Lark in trouble. And as they come up towards the next ride, it's to Hot Dog Jack now by 5 lengths over 4. Beal chasing hard in second. He hit that Hot Dog Jack, but he got away with it. After these comes Beal, then after these comes 6 firm-handed. They spin off the final bend, and Hot Dog Jack has gone 4.5 lengths clear.
Springbok champion Hot Dog Jack wins on Arc Night and remains on target for the Grand National, as does another leading contender, Kildare Lark. We called up with his trainer Jason Foster, first asking him his thoughts on 2 weeks ago.
He was turned over by a good dog. I think we gave it away on the first hurdle. He did jump too high, and then he went into the corner, and Hot Dog Jack got the better of him at the corner, and then he had to check off, and then we got into trouble. But it's like anything, you can't win everything. I looked forward to the race. I really enjoyed it as well, especially a lot of other people as well. It makes for good racing, and it's always a nice feeling when you turn up at a track and you got the butterflies going around in your stomach, thinking, right, here we go, we're going to duel it out. So hopefully next time we may get one back over on him.
So when Kildare Lark takes on Hot Dog Jack at Wimbledon, as inevitable, well, hopefully he will do in the Grand National, do you think the outcome will be different?
Most probably, because there'll be 2 hurdles in the home straight going down to the first bend. So taking into account that Kildare Lark has got a lot of early. I mean, he has got more early pace than Hot Dog Jack, but with the second hurdle there will most probably make the difference to him, because he'll have that extra pace to go down to the corner and get round. I mean, it's mainly all about the break, I would say, but I would say if Kildare Lark comes out on his best break, a Hot Dog Jack will find it quite difficult.
Do you like to be known as the trainer of hurdlers?
I suppose, in a way, yes. I do love a really nice hurdler. Very much like my father, he used to love hurdlers as well. And yeah, I do like to have a nice hurdler or two, definitely.
And you've got quite a few in at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment we have the likes of Kildare Lark, Tommy Bahama, and Coleman's Joe's another one coming through. We've got all the 6 Grand National finalists as well, sitting in the same yard, which is very unusual. But yeah, we have got a very strong team.
Jason, of course, is referring to last year's Irish Grand National, and he now has the winner in his kennels in Coleman's Joe, who's made a great start to his British career with a series of wins.
So he's a very, very pacey dog. He's got early, not as much early as I would say sort of the likes of Kildare Lark or maybe Hot Dog Jack. But he's the type of dog, if you went down the back straight and he's only 3 or 4 lengths behind you, you'd be worried, because he would certainly come to the dog. And what makes him even more special, he definitely goes by, and he goes by at speed.
So in a 2-dog trial, Kildare Lark versus Coleman's Joe, who would you be on?
Oh, a 2-dog trial, it would be extremely close, I would say. I would say there'll be a short head either way.
Of course, you're not just a trainer of open race hurdlers, you've got some other good dogs as well.
Exactly. I've got a dog called Fine Moment, which I think a lot of him. He's just turned 2 now, and he's a type of dog that will do 27 70s around Wimbledon. He'll most probably step him up in trip over the next couple of months as well, because I think he'll maybe turn out into a lovely stayer. Finished second on the Sky Night. Got beat by a very good dog, 39.58, and we did a 39.90, first time ever. So I was very pleased with that, and I got a lot of hopes for him. Another dog I would say called Maggie's Millions. I call him the dog with two hearts. He's only 27 kilos, bought out of Wimbledon sales for I think about £260. When the owner bought him and he presented the dog to me, I just looked at and I thought, oh, you bought this little dog, and it's turned out he's just now won 3 A1s and a Sky race, and he's a type of dog that runs with two hearts, and I think, yeah, the £260 dog will most probably have to go in the Derby.
Other foster runners worthy of note for open race fans are Stardome Girl, useful over 6 bends, and Fitzroy Julia, another stayer in the making. But with 85 dogs in his care, albeit with the help of 4 full-time staff, Jason's contract at Wimbledon has to come first, and that requires a team effort.
Yeah, they have a very strict routine. We like to keep everything to time. Also, it makes for dogs definitely that they're calmer because they know what's happening next. They're more content. They're happy to trot in and out of the paddock and go straight into their kennel. And as long as you do that, happy dogs will run for you. They'll definitely run.
Recent successes for Jason have proved that to be true. Although it's not all about trophies, there are injuries to deal with. And one such sideline dog at present is the dog's own Chase the Dream. He's got a small injury at present, which Jason is treating, and then he should be back on track. Jason schooled him before Mark Wallace took him to top grade over the sticks at Walthamstow. Now the plan is to do the same at Wimbledon.
He most probably will get to H1, I would think, because he's definitely got the background, because obviously he was schooled at Wimbledon and learnt the ropes there, so he should be able to convert, you know, the H1 form from Walthamstow over to Wimbledon.
Now you're his third trainer. He's coming up to just over 3.5 years old now. From a greyhound point of view, is hurdling an easier way for them to ease into older age, as it were?
I would say so, yes, purely to the fact that they'll go into the first bend slower than what a flat dog would. Hurdlers will tend to last longer in their racing career and much older, because 90% of all injuries will happen and will occur on a bend. So once he's jumped the 2 hurdles and then goes into the first bend, it definitely saves them from injuries comparing to a flat dog going in at full speed. So yeah, absolutely, they do have an extra running lifespan, definitely.
Jason's eyes are now firmly fixed on the Grand National Trophy. It's a trophy his father Tommy largely trained for and won from this same Surrey base. Tommy was known as the king of the hurdlers, but is now enjoying retirement and visits to the track are few and far between. He's been there and done that.
I think the most important thing to him is that he's satisfied with what he did, and he had a very good time in the greyhound game. He thoroughly enjoyed it, and he just felt, well, no, this is the time. You know, step back and just take it easy.
And he's now a proud dad watching his son take over the reins.
Well, yeah, I hope he's proud. I hope I'm doing him justice, but I think he'd be happy.
Well, let's look at some of the market leaders for the other Ladbroke Spring Festival finals taking place at MONMORE on Friday, starting with Theatre of Dreams, trained by David Prues. Here he is winning his heat on Monday from trap 3. And away they go, and racing up towards the first bend, and Theatre of Dreams traps out well, leads up early from Blonde Joey in second. Out wide is Chubby's Pet, then comes one, Borna Ella on the inside. Down the far side, they've got to go some to catch Theatre of Dreams. It's leading, Blonde Joey making a real fist of it, having to check in behind. Then comes two, Minala Cruiser picking up a bit of late ground, but as they come around the final bend, it's Theatre of Dreams. Blonde Joey trying again. Theatre of Dreams holds on from Blonde Joey. Theatre of Dreams is such a consistent trapper, as he showed at Walthamstow recently. He certainly deserves to be the favourite for Friday's 416-metre final. He recorded the quickest time, but the one thorn could be Blonde Joey, who was running all over him at the third bend, and he could be the main threat in Friday's final. The 480-metre decider looks wide open, but one greyhound who always does his best is ICEMAN Ross. Here he is in action in the heats, running from trap 6 for Lance Burford. Away they go, and racing up towards the first bend. Good start, Corleone's Flash. Going with it is Get Me a Doctor. Pacing up now, Arthur's Joy on the outside. ICEMAN Ross is handy. Down the far side, Corleone's Flash leading by a length and a bit from 6. ICEMAN Ross up into second. Then comes 5, Arthur's Joy. They reach the third bend, and it's Corleone's Flash doing 5. Arthur's Joy, no favours, coming back in towards the rails. ICEMAN Ross staying on all the time as they come up towards winner line. ICEMAN Ross has hit the front and gets there by 3/4 of a length. Recent Irish acquisition, Holy Roman Emperor, will be the likely favourite for David Prues, but he may be held up by the pacey Chris Alsop duo Rev Counter and Clyde View, drawn in 1 and 2. If these two cut each other's throats, then the race could be tailor-made for Lance Burford's ICEMAN Ross. Blonde Jet, who won the most open races for Maria Dennis last year, has already won 2 festival sprints at MONMORE. He'll be the one to beat in the 264 final. Here he is winning his heat. And away they go, racing out towards the first bend for Blonde Jet. Out fast, showing great early pace. 6 on the outside. Cheyenne Bertie tries to turn in second. Done no favours. Borna Boy makes unique option. They're meeting the sandwich, but it's Blonde Jet. Home and ho surely. A bit wide there. Blonde Jet wins. Borna Boy second. Blonde Jet does move off at the second bend, but so does the pacey You Know Boo. And given the fact that the favourite has trap 1, we believe he should take more cash from the race sponsors Ladbrokes on Friday afternoon. But if you want a sporting bet, then don't rule out You Know Boo, who did really well when beating Jet Hearts here in the heats. You can watch those finals live in the betting shops on Friday afternoon, courtesy of SIS. In the evening, Romford staged the final of the Steve Simmons March Hare over 400 metres. On Saturday, there's opens at Hull, Shawfield and Swindon. A varied card of opens at Coventry on Sunday. Monday, Romford perhaps the place to be for the heats, the Coral TV Marathon over 750 metres, whilst Nottingham have another batch of opens as well. For all the latest results, click onto our website, thedogs.co.uk. The Dogs programme is back with you next Thursday when we have an in-depth preview of the Betfair Trainers Championship. Don't miss it.
The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.